Hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to you, wherever you are tuning in from across the globe. It's truly wonderful to have you here. Before we dive into today's incredibly interesting topic, I want to take a quick moment to send my very best wishes your way. In a world that can sometimes feel so busy and demanding, our health and the health of our loved ones is the most precious thing we have. So, from the bottom of my heart, I genuinely hope this video finds you feeling strong, in great spirits, and blessed with excellent health. May you always have happiness and wellness surrounding you. Now, let's explore a cultural custom that is so fundamental to everyday life in one of the world's most dynamic countries that it influences everything from how people speak to each other to when they can legally have a drink. In South Korea, the simple question, "How old are you?" is not so simple at all. For a visitor or someone unfamiliar with East Asian customs, the way age is calculated in Korea can be one of the most confusing and fascinating cultural hurdles to understand. While most of the world uses the international method of counting age, often called calendar age, where a baby is 0 years old at birth and gains a year on each subsequent birthday, South Korea has traditionally used a different system. This isn't just a quirky alternative, it's a deeply ingrained social rule that affects language, hierarchy, respect, and interactions from the classroom to the corporate boardroom. To truly grasp why this matters so much, we have to look at the system itself, the cultural reasons behind it, and the recent seismic shift that is changing this centuries-old tradition. So, let's unravel the unique concept of Korean age. First, let's break down how the traditional Korean age system actually works, because the mechanics are the first point of confusion. In this system, everyone is considered to be 1 year old at the moment of their birth. This might seem strange at first, but the logic from a traditional perspective is that the 9 months spent in the womb count as the first year of life. So, a baby is 1 year old on the day it is born. But it doesn't stop there. Then, on the first day of the new year, specifically January 1st, everyone in the country collectively gets a year older. Yes, you read that correctly. It doesn't matter if your birthday is in December or July. When the clock strikes midnight on New Year's Eve, every single person in South Korea adds 1 year to their age. This means that a baby born on December 31st would be 1 year old on that day. Then, just a day later, on January 1st, that same baby would be considered 2 years old. From an international age perspective, that baby is merely 2 days old, but in the traditional Korean system, they are already 2 years old. This method creates a situation where you can be, by Korean counting, 2 years older than your international age. For example, if your birthday is in February, and it's currently December, you haven't had your birthday yet this year for your international age, but you've already aged up on January 1st for your Korean age. This system means that everyone who was born in the same calendar year is considered the same age, and they are all a part of the same peer group, which is a hugely important social concept in Korea. This concept of a peer group is the absolute key to understanding why this age system is so important. Korean society is built on a foundation of Confucian principles that emphasize respect for elders and a very clear, well-defined social hierarchy. Knowing exactly who is older and who is younger than you is not a matter of simple curiosity, it is a social necessity. This knowledge dictates the language you use, specifically the complex system of honorifics in the Korean language. The Korean language has different levels of speech, including formal, polite, and informal forms. The words, the verb endings, and even the grammar you use change completely based on the age and social status of the person you are speaking to. You cannot have a proper conversation without first establishing this hierarchy. Using the wrong level of speech to someone older than you is considered extremely rude. This is why one of the very first questions Koreans will ask each other upon meeting is about age and birth year. They are not being impolite. They are actively trying to be polite by figuring out how to address you correctly. This age-based hierarchy influences every single social interaction. It determines how you bow, who pours the drink at a dinner table, who speaks first, and even who is expected to pay the bill at a meal. In the workplace, a colleague who is even just 1 year older than you must be addressed with a higher level of respect. This system creates a sense of order and respect, but it also fosters a powerful sense of camaraderie and obligation among people who are the same age, known as friend or chingu. People born in the same year can often become instantly close, dropping formalities and speaking to each other in casual language, which is a sign of great comfort and friendship. This traditional age system, however, has not been the only one in use. For legal and administrative purposes, South Korea has also used the international age system for decades. This means that for things like the legal age for drinking alcohol, smoking, voting, enlisting in the military, and getting a driver's license, the government uses the international method, where you gain a year on your actual birthday. So, a young person can legally buy alcohol on their birthday, not on the January 1st after they turn 19 in international age. This created a confusing dual system where a person could have 3 different ages: their Korean age, their international age for legal matters, and sometimes even year age, which is simply the current year minus your birth year, which is another way of calculating it. This confusion led to countless administrative headaches, legal disputes, and everyday misunderstandings. People would often have to clarify, "I'm talking about my international age," in medical situations or when filling out official forms. This constant back and forth between systems became a source of frustration for many South Koreans, especially in a modern, globalized world where international standards are increasingly important. Recognizing this confusion and the societal and economic inefficiencies it caused, the South Korean government took a monumental step. In December 2022, the National Assembly passed laws to officially abolish the traditional Korean age counting system for most official and legal matters. This change was not meant to erase the cultural practice from daily life, but to standardize age calculations to the international method across all government and legal documents, medical charts, and official contracts. The primary goal was to unify the system and put an end to the persistent confusion and unnecessary social disputes and costs that arose from having multiple age standards. The government argued that this would bring South Korea in line with the rest of the world and simplify everything from vaccine eligibility to insurance policies. This was a huge story, both domestically and internationally, because it represented a significant shift away from a long-held tradition. The public reaction to this change was, as one might expect, mixed. Many younger Koreans, who are more globally connected and often felt the burden of the strict hierarchy, welcomed the change. They saw it as a move towards a more modern, equitable society where age might become a slightly less dominant factor in determining relationships. They welcomed the simplicity and the reduction in administrative confusion. However, for many older generations and cultural traditionalists, there was a sense of loss. They argued that the traditional system is a core part of Korean identity and social structure. They worried that it would dilute the deep-seated Confucian values of respect for elders that have held Korean society together for so long. They pointed out that even with the legal change, the social aspects would be much harder to alter. And they're almost certainly correct. While the government can change the numbers on a form, it cannot instantly change a culture that is thousands of years old. The habit of asking someone's age upon meeting them, the use of honorific language, and the general respect afforded to elders will undoubtedly persist for generations to come. The legal change is more about official paperwork than it is about social interaction. In casual settings, amongst friends and family, the traditional Korean age will likely continue to be used and referenced for a very long time. So, what does this all mean for a visitor to South Korea today? Well, it's a fascinating time to witness a culture in transition. You might fill out a form using your international age, but you might still be asked your age in the traditional sense by a new Korean acquaintance. It's important to understand the context of why they are asking. They are not prying. They are trying to navigate the social landscape to treat you with the proper respect. If you are clearly older, they will want to use formal language. If you are the same age or younger, they will adjust accordingly. For foreigners, there is often a little more leeway, as they are not expected to know all the intricate rules, but making an effort to understand the system will be met with great appreciation. It shows a respect for their culture and a desire to connect on a deeper level. The story of age in South Korea is a perfect example of how a society can honor its traditions while also adapting to the practical demands of the modern world. It's a balancing act between preserving a unique cultural identity that provides order and respect and embracing a global standard that promotes clarity and simplicity. This ongoing evolution makes South Korea a truly captivating place, where the past and the future are in a constant, dynamic conversation.